Thank you for tuning in to Finding Kim Amero. This is episode 9, The Letter. My name is Jamie Splood, and whether you're listening to this on the podcast or you're watching this on the documentary, I appreciate you joining me on this journey. For those of you who haven't been following along on our Facebook page, Finding Kim Amero, we have been awarded the letter that Randy wrote to CTV in Calgary, and eventually it got passed to, or he sent it to, a family member of the Ameros high school way back when. This is before the tapes. This is actually just before the tapes came out. I'm going to read the letter really quickly. I'm going to read it exactly how it's written, so some of the sentences may not make sense, but you can pretty much get the gist of what he's trying to say, and we'll talk about it afterwards. So here goes. I need to pass this on to the Amero family. It's very important. I believe prior info I've sent to RCMP, local police, and Child Find has been held back from your family. Yes, they were told over the last few years. They already know this stuff. When your family hears this, some might remember this place and people, so they will know this is true and they can put her to rest. Yes, there is no easy way to tell you this, but I know addresses of anyone. This may challenge your beliefs in the paranormal, but listen to what I say. If you don't believe me, then listen for Kim. In 1985, go to Robertson Road, Upham. Road forks go right past cemetery first. Road past his driveway, on left there is foundation of an old burnt-down homestead belonging to Kevin Lackey family. Here is where Kim was kept for 5 weeks by lone man, last name Jarvis, married into Lackey family. I hunted around this area mostly over on top of the hill past camp. On an October day, I was in deep bush, but what I heard I will never forget. It was loud and clear. She knew I was up there making her escape. She ran up the road towards me. She never made it to me. He got her. That's the screams I heard. He hid her and laid in wait in case I showed up. I saw nothing and heard no more. After I left, he took her further in about a mile on same side to another old homestead site where a log cabin was built by Wilsons. This is where she still remains. She is just a few feet to right of front porch. Both camps are gone. Homestead Jarvis burnt to hide crime. Over the last 20 years, area changed a lot. Was up recently hoping to find cabin. Was close but did not find it, but it's there. Someone in your family or friends of Kim's knows where this is. Kevin Lackey owns the land. He knows this location. Kim knew both places. Kim up there with friends. She also knew him. She spoke of walks she took on this road with a friend. I saw in front of cabin an old light green rusted old car. Large, maybe Oldsmobile. He tricked her into this car and took her to Upham. He was about 30, rugged outdoor type. On one of many scouting trips back then, I drove past her and another male on this road just up past Homestead. She was facing me, seemed to be happy with this person. He had his back to me whole time. He was dark hair, medium height, weight. She said hi to me as I drove by. For many years, the screams were always in my head. I seen her poster, then I was sure what really happened. I am a sensitive medium. I tried to connect with her and succeeded twice, but had not refined this method. I have now. I can see all of this, even her in despair, caged up in cellar, knowing he would never let her go. I connected with her on a few more occasions, this time with a younger sensitive. He's the only witness to this connection and things she said. She spoke to me through him. I took him at this time as far as Homestead. He knew every place before we got to it, and enjoyed talking. She spoke to me through him. I took at this time, and enjoyed talking to us about loving it up there and going there with her friends. He described the cellar in detail, as well as log cabin and its location and trees surrounding it, as well as its interior. He knew nothing beforehand and had never been there. All during sessions he saw her present and said she kept showing him pictures in his head and kept complaining of his head hurting. He described the weapon as a club. The most amazing thing of all this is this sensitive was only 9 or 10 years old, but even though he remembers a lot of this. My contact to her through him was by accident. I really did not intend to do it. It just happened. He could see her and hear her. He could see her and talk to her at this time. I could not see or hear her physically. I could feel her presence and feel her touch. She could hear me and see me. She asked me to tell her a story. I have now. Her spirit is happy. She asked me to give her mom a message. Tell mom I love her and I am sorry I miss her. This would and still can be the perfect crime. Find the cabin site and you find her. This guy is mean and took great care to hide his crime. She also said he killed before. He told her this. I done nothing wrong and fear being blamed for this. I could never harm her. She was a good person at heart and innocent. If Jarvis is innocent, which I doubt, he will know who did it. I don't know what to think. There are some discrepancies from the letter to the tape. He compliments her more in the tape. He really expresses his emotion for her. Here, he says, I could never harm her. She was a good person at heart and innocent. How do you know that? It's the same thing with the tape. How do you know that? If you never saw her and you never heard her, you just felt her touch. How the heck do you know that? That's all. Obviously, the medium crap is crap. It's BS. He's hiding behind it. But why? That's what I want to know. Why is he hiding behind it? Was he there and it was an accident? Was he there and he couldn't stop it? Or did he do it? These are the questions we have to have answered, because you can imagine this isn't fair to the Amero family. This is a crock of BS. This whole Randy situation is such BS because it's not fair. You can imagine having a missing sibling and some guy year after year after year saying, hey, I know where your sibling's buried, but my directions are super vague and weird. And so it's not really going to take you anywhere, but you're going to spend all time and money digging it up year after year after year. And I'm never going to let this rest. And every time you think you've healed, I'm going to rip open the wound with some more news. It makes no sense and it's not fair. And if Randy actually cared about Kim and had the feelings that he says that he has about her, then he would want her to be home, not in some grave up in Upham. He would want her to have a proper burial. And yet he won't just say this is where she is, X marks the spot on this map. So we're making it our personal crusade to speak to Randy so we can put this to bed one way or the other. Because if you take Randy out of this equation of Kim missing, if you take him right out, what do we know? We know that the last time her family saw her, she was at an exhibition. That's it. That's all we have. We don't have anything else. We know that Michael Wayne McGray admitted to killing her. They found nothing, and it was so not newsworthy, and they believed him so little, is that you cannot find anything online that states that he did admit to it, but he did. So I take Michael Wayne McGray with a grain of salt. I can't agree with police because they've done nothing about Randy either, but it wasn't. He did admit to killing a lot of people that they did find, and he was, giving exact locations of where their bodies could be found. So if he screwed it up with Kim, I don't believe that Michael Wayne McGray had anything to do with her. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know anything. But what I do know is that this Randy business has to stop, and one way or the other, we have to either say, yes, he knows, or no, he doesn't know, and he's just a nut job that's obsessed with a little girl. That's basically it, because this isn't, it's just not fair. And it's, I don't want to swear on here, but it's bullshit. It is. It's bullshit that he keeps doing this to them. And I think that we have to focus on our efforts on him, not to prove his guilt, but to find out one way or the other if he actually knows where she is. So Randy, if you're listening, come forward, put your big girl panties on, and come forward and talk to us. You put all this information out into the universe. You wanted the Amero family to have this information. Why you're refusing to talk about it now is beyond me, because you took a lot of effort. You convinced your grandson, you perversely convinced your grandson he was psychic in order to cover up yourself and the knowledge that you felt that you knew. So if you were going to go to all these lengths, why are you so quiet now? Why won't you talk now? I don't understand the reasoning behind it. If I was obsessed with the case for 24 years and sent letters and tapes and to medium or to news outlets and to other mediums and to the police and to the family, I wouldn't be silent now. I would just show you where she is if I knew. So I think that we have to remove Randy from the equation or 100% put him in there. And that's going to be our goal. So hopefully the next time you see us or hear from us, that's where we have been. We've spoken to Randy. And, if you want to speak anonymously, we're okay with that. Just, help us help the Ameros, I guess. And I want to thank everyone in the community for sharing this. We had a message from a Facebook family member, not a family member of the Ameros, a family member of the Facebook page, Finding Kim Amero, come to us and say, hey, these directions in this letter actually go basically to my front door. And I know exactly where he's talking, and you can come up here and look, which is so amazing to meet a friendly person up in that area, because it's odd up there and everybody's pretty secretive, and everyone that we talk to really wants nothing to do with us. So it's very strange, and no one in the Lackey family and the Jarvises hate us. I'm sure the Lackeys do too. And for no reason. We're just trying to get to the bottom of this, and we're just trying to find Kim and bring her home. And you would think that would be the common goal, but it apparently isn't in Upham. So it's so nice to meet a friendly person, and maybe we have been looking in the wrong location. The directions that Randy does give are a little vague, and so we're gonna explore this new location. And you never know, maybe she's there, and maybe we find her, and maybe we bring her home. So like I said, the next time you hear from me, hopefully it's because I spoke to Randy. It's been 5 months since we've put an episode up, and we've been working this entire 5 months. We just really have nothing to say. Like I said earlier, when you take Randy out of this equation, you have nothing. You know that the last time her family saw her, she was at an exhibition, and that's not a lot to go on. So we've been trying to explore other avenues and explore other options. We have gotten nowhere. So, we're going to knock on the front door. We're going to hope he's going to talk to us. We're just going to keep on knocking until hopefully he invites us in. That's our goal. Starting today. This reading this letter, it makes me realize just, how this man has been taunting the Ameros for so long. For, 25 years he's been taunting this family. And, every time he just rips off the Band-Aid of healing and makes them, relive this all over again. And it's time for this to come to an end. You can email me. You can go to the Facebook page. You can go to the website. You can leave an anonymous message on the website even, just if you know anything or think we just got a message from a girl saying, hey, I grew up there. My grandma still lives there. I'm going to go ask her. Great. Please do. Please go ask your grandma. Maybe she knows, So if you have anything at all to say, please do so. Please come forward, because I really feel like this is the only way we're going to bring her home, is just widening our reach and widening our community until somebody finally reads this, sees it, watches it, hears it, and can give us a definitive answer. Thank you.